Hello and welcome to Holy Men's online series with Mastermind Connect, which is a virtual circle led by Omar Davis using the tools of alchemy to find inner wisdom and build brotherhood. Holy Men is a space for men to come and talk about the real shit: life, work, relationships, family issues, or anything on your heart. In this space, we will open up the conversation to understand our perception, divine balance, our mind, our miracle body, inner wisdom, and the formations of sacred geometry. Welcome to Holy Men. Word up, word up, word up. And yes, welcome. Welcome to Holy Men by Mastermind Connect. We are here. So, just a real quick check-in. How is everyone? And while I'm asking, I'm going to allow people to come on into the room. But I also really want everyone to just kind of think about that really quick. And even if whenever you tune in, when you tune in, just think about, how do I feel? Last week, we really discussed this concept of communication and what it means to communicate and how we communicate. So moving forward, understanding how you feel is the first way to understand how to communicate. How do I understanding how you think, understanding how you perceive things. And so before we even dive in, I just want to just give a big shout out to everyone out there, as my boys are probably wrestling in the other room. Just give a shout out to everyone who has been watching the series and also paying attention to the whole mastermind movement. There are other series that we are doing with other members that are on the YouTube page you can check out. And there's just a lot of things that we are doing in our community and just trying to really help. We're trying to be a force in which we are making a change into this world. But we really want to provide a space for men to actually have a space so that we can actually heal. And actually not heal, because we're not broken. We just have to reorganize our thinking. That's all. We just got to reorganize the way we think and the way that we allow ourselves to show up. And this particular session today, I wanted it to be really intimate, and I wanted it to be very here, like in the moment, and in love, and in softness, and in compassion. We've had sessions where, we'll get a little funny or rowdy, or, we throwing MFs and F-bombs all around, but I really want to just focus on, what does it take to also be soft, right? Why we always got to be so hard, which is next episode. But let's take a moment to just be soft and understand that, for one, love is the way. And I'd like to thank everybody who has joined. I see some people are in the room. Awesome. We welcome you all in. Thank you. Use the chat. We love the chat. We love the chat. Okay, so I just got a message that my sound may be muffled. So I'm going to scoot up a little more and I'm going to speak a little louder. So just to be clear, once again, I really want this to be about love. I really want this to be about understanding what it is to be soft, to be gentle, to be compassionate, and really compassionate with yourself. No, not anything else. And so let's just go ahead and get into it real quick. Let's talk about all the good things, all the good things. Now, I'm just going to do a check really quick just to make sure that I am all golden. I know Manny's in the background. Let's just give him a shout out for holding it down. Manny does a lot for the collective. So I just like to always appreciate when someone is giving their time and efforts just to support something that's greater and bigger. So I'm just really grateful for the team that I have around me, for all the success that we're doing, that we're experiencing for ourselves individually and as a collective. Now, let's just actually talk about what it is to love, right? Love. What does love mean? The issue with love is that it has so much baggage with it. I mean, it has so much baggage with it, right? Some people, whenever they hear the word love, they actually have a moment of panic and they don't like the word love because they don't actually know what it is, maybe, or they've never been shown it, or what they've been shown was love was abuse. And so we get that twisted sometimes in our cultures, that we actually think that whenever you abuse someone that it's in love because you want them to do better, right? But really it's only abuse. Like, let you be an adult and someone kind of try to whoop your ass or abuse you and say, I'm doing it out of love. You'd be like, man, get away from me. I'm tripping. And so with that said, it's really important for us to understand that we must self-identify with love, which means you got to see yourself in love first. So that's what we're going to talk about real quick. And I want to ask you all that. All of this is a question. Please use the chat. Please use the comment, because these are not only questions, but they're also something to get you to think about and something you to bring up in your system. So how do you see yourself first? That's the first thing. You got to understand how you see yourself. You got to see all the parts. But the issue with that is sometimes when we start looking at ourselves based on our perception or our culture, we automatically attach subjectivity and negativity to it. And then we make ourselves feel bad for having this feeling. But that is only a trick of the ego, solely. And what it comes down to is all your feelings are valid. All your experiences are valid. Everything does have a part. But it's really important for you to understand that the way you see yourself will literally drive every action. You're either running and ruled by your fears and trauma, or you're conscious of your thoughts and you're manifesting the things that you desire because you're focused on those concepts. And sometimes the manifestation can come negatively, because just because you think negative thoughts don't mean you're not suddenly a manifester. No, you solely just tend to manifest negativity. So once again, that's not to beat ourselves up, right? Because this is not about an ass kicking ceremony just because we are thinking things that aren't helping us, right? That's not what this is about. Don't self-sabotage yourself ever. Gotta stop that. So first, it's about how you see yourself, right? So even with that idea of self-sabotage, if you see yourself as unworthy, invaluable, you have shame and guilt wrapped around those things, I pray and hope and send love to you to understand that none of that is true. It is an illusion of the mind, once again. And I'm going to keep using this term, the illusion of the mind, because our mind, the ego concept, it's just a construct of our past memories and neurological receptors that are building habits of your experience to make sense of the environment around it. It's a construct. You built it, in fact. How powerful are you? You built your own ego. And you can always rebuild your ego to be your best friend. How about that? Now, let's move forward. Understanding that how you love yourself is the first and foremost, but not how you love yourself, excuse me, how you see yourself. You got to see yourself as love, purity. You got to see yourself as divine. Because if we go back to that episode we was talking about all them atoms and stuff, why you're worthy, because you are. Because every single atom inside of your body is worthy. And it's a beautiful thing. It's quite amazing. Now, seeing yourself in this light helps you because it really brings forth the idea that you actually can change your thoughts about how you see it, because what you see is an illusion based on your past. Now, to give love to yourself, wait, I messed that one up. My bad. Rewind. So to give love to others means that you actually have to give love to yourself. So how about that, right? In order for you to even give love, you have to have it and you got to be holding it. Like let's just think about this practically, right? Let's think about money, right? Let's just put money in the place of love. In order for me to help somebody with money, right? In order for me to help them grow their life or support them, I gotta have money. I gotta have it right here. I gotta be like, boom, 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 boom. There you go. Maybe with this hand, boom, 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 boom. So the whole point of that is to also understand that you have to have self-love in order to boom, 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 boom. In order to do all that with love, you gotta have it for yourself. You're the first and foremost, and you're the most important. You're the only one responsible for you. And I love what Cynthia says in the comments. She says, how you see yourself is the way you project yourself to others. Word. And also how you let people treat you. Because you are not valuing your truth or your values and needs. And so that becomes a whole nother thing where you then go down into self-sabotage. Because you're like, I can't believe I let them people take advantage of me. You know, it's like, it's a really psychotic rope that you just keep looping around in circles. Never get anywhere. But let's just break this down, right? Because a lot of times, how easy is it to have love for yourself? Not very, not based on the systems that we were taught. And the reason I say that is because in my own experience, I had no love for O. I didn't. I realized whenever I was about the age of 26, going on 27, my oldest son's mom and I were splitting up. Everything was weird because I didn't know how to be a man or dad because I was just still trying to understand what a man was because I didn't have no good examples of that, right? And I was really just trying to find myself. But I realized through that whole breakup process that Omar was not okay. And so for like 2 years, Omar went rampage, right? Omar was running around the streets of New York like fucking Mario Brothers and, you know, really hitting the streets. And so what happened then is I came to a point where I started to realize that I wasn't actually loving myself. I was giving all my energy to everybody around me, to my for Art for Money, which is the music company. Shout out Omar Ramon. Yeah, and I was giving all my time and attention to that to where I didn't even realize that I wasn't even being that present of a dad, or I was there, but I was so focused on my own shit, my own trauma, that there was a lot of precious moments that I missed with my son because I was not emotionally intelligent and I did not know how to support him. And so I had to get it together. That was a motivational piece for me. I sit there and cried many a times thinking about how I needed to be better for this little child. He was my main benefactor. He made me see me. Literally, by me watching how he purely loves everything and wants me to just be involved in everything and loves me unconditionally with no, I'm like, how you love me? I'm crazy. I'm all messed up. But he loved me as his parent, as his dad. And it changed me because I realized that, oh no, I don't love myself. And I can even feel that emotion, empathizing with that memory. And it's a beautiful thing to tap into that feeling because now I know where I'm at. You know, it's beautiful. But with that said, I had to make a change and I had to understand that I needed to see myself better. I needed to move into a space where I needed to love Omar. And Omar needed to actually let go of some stuff. And so that was a process in itself. Now, I want to get to this next concept of what is love, right? Because it was hard for me to say, I'm going to love myself when I didn't love myself, or I didn't really understand how to love a man. And you know, this is a really tricky thing, right? The reason this gets really tricky is because I am a man, right? So I'm literally having issues with a being who happens to be a male, my father. And I didn't realize how much that played on what I viewed myself as a man. I actually was in the bubble of like, this is what manhood is. This is what you do. This is how you do it. And so a lot of men are suffering because we've been always taught to just be a man, right? But we always have issues with men, and that's why men don't trust each other. And that's why, men, it's hard for us to even give us the space to be vulnerable with each other. Because a lot of us have issues with our dads. And even if you don't, the society and the world around you is constantly telling you that you need to be this way. So that's all we do. Just keep walking along that same path. So we have to redefine what is love. It's not this thing that's a feeling. There are many feelings, and love is a feeling. Don't get me wrong. You can have the feeling of love, but it's actually, let's just take LOVE out of it. Let's just take that out. And let's just talk about what it really is. It is 528 hertz. Let's just talk about that from a space of frequencies and vibrations. 528 hertz is the frequency of love. It actually is a resonance of the chest and the green heart chakra. 528 hertz is actually the color green when you take a frequency and you match it with the color or the color's frequency. So what that means is that that's all you're doing is simply loving yourself right in here. Because it's not simple, right? That's crazy to say that love is not only a frequency, but that also has geometrical shape, right? And not only does it have geometrical shape, but it has a color, and it has a feeling, and it has a resonance. You can feel love from people too, right? You can feel when someone is giving love to you. So it has a resonance. So that means it's a little bit more complicated than I love you. Way more complicated than that. And so to understand that love is something that is naturally a part of our entire body. When we go back to the sacred geometry, when we go back to the chakras, what we start to see is that once again, our body is built from ratios and light and frequencies, just like when you throw two stones into a pond, the ripples eventually crosshatch, and those in your body are absolute perfect and high frequencies. It's amazing. You're amazing. And so it's important that we understand this, because in this day and age, we are seeing and going through so much that if we don't turn inward and we don't actually understand the power of our own self-love, then everything out here in this world, in this society, with our systems, with this COVID stuff, it's going to literally put us in only more fear. And fear is not love. I think we know that, but fear is not love. So in order to understand what love is even, we have to also bring in the concept of oneness, right? Because when you talk about love, then you also talk about acceptance, and you also talk about just letting people be who they are and not judging them and not making them seem like they're wrong because you don't believe what they do is right. Or maybe you just want to level up and you're stepping on folks to get there rather than helping people up on your way to the top. And there is really no top, only in your inner perception. So with that said, that is not aspects of love. That is the aspect of only separation. But the truth of the fact is, oneness is what it really is. The oneness of all. And it's even hard for me to dive into this aspect of oneness, because for those of you who may be just joining, it's not simple. You know, when we think oneness, we have to think, for one, all the stars, right? We got to get out of this earth mind. We got to really reach past the mind that we've been taught. We got to think about, hey, did you know that our star has a sister sun, that they do this, and they rotate around each other like two ellipses? Did you know that? Isn't that crazy, though? And amazing? Did you also know that there is another planet that was called Murdoch? No, right? How about now Pluto? They say not even a planet, right? What's going on, right? But how about this though? Did you also know that there are other beings and other things in this universe? There are other planets that have life. Did you also know that there are infinite number of galaxies, just like there are infinite number of stars? But did you also know that in this web of galaxies, they're all connected to a cluster of what looks like your neurological system, webbing, rivers, streams? Consciousness is so greater than this concept that we fabricate on earth. Earth is separation while still in heaven. Interesting paradox. But the oneness is real, and the oneness is all, and the oneness is the experience. It's having the experience of infinite possibilities through all of us. But when we go back to love, anybody that has ever had a life or death experience, or maybe tapped into a part of themselves where they left their body or they saw something beyond and greater than what we can even imagine on earth, you come back and you know that love is all there is. Anita Morjani has a good book that's called Dying to Be Me. She dies, goes up, comes back down, enters her body, and she's like, whoa, that was crazy. Love is all there is. I'm only hating myself. That's why I cause cancer in my body, because I hate myself. How about that? Because everything is energetic, like the Matrix, the movie. It's just a program. The program is made from atoms. Did you know that atoms are codes within the DNA, and DNA creates all life? It's a code. It's a program. It's called a light encoded reality matrix. In fact, that's what the other beings that don't live on Earth call it. But we're not going to go there because, that's a whole other conversation. But when it comes down to the whole, the all, and the concept that we are separated, we must understand this. Separation is experience. We decided to separate from oneness to have the experience of the individual persona. To literally say, yo, source, universe, God, stop giving me everything I want the moment I think about it. Stop it. I'm tired of you giving me stuff. I want to do it myself. Stop making me a mansion as soon as I think about it. I'm tired. I want to build it myself. That's what separation is. We said, I want to do that myself. I want to be the creator. We are made in the image of the creator. If we want to take it to scriptures, that's what that means. We left to create for ourselves. But the experience on Earth is a little bit different from other planets, from other places. Earth, we forget who we were before. Damn. Wouldn't it be cool if you did remember? You wouldn't have to go through all this. But that's the whole point. It's a matrix to level up in thinking in your soul mind, your higher mind. It's bigger than this earthly body. But in order to understand that I must love myself first, we must forgive ourselves first. I'm going to say that again. We must forgive ourselves first. Period. Yes, we all have guilt. Yes, we all have shame. It's okay. You got to forgive yourself. Can't move forward with those two energies. Excuse me. What about hate? You have hate. You got to forgive. Can't move forward with those. You can't. So it's important that you forgive yourself before you ever try to forgive anyone in the world. And also, letting go. This is what I tell my students whenever I'm teaching in the classroom, which is virtual these days, or whenever I'm teaching in corporate settings, like today. Have corporate meetings all day, and this was a term that I actually spoke about. Well, not in one, but in the other one, I was like, yo, if your food is made from chemicals, right, and you got to eat it, and you got to then release it, and you let out feces and shit, right? Okay, if chemicals are emotions, that makes them no different from food. So therefore, you have to release your emotions. You have to let things go, or you're going to be emotionally constipated. Can we see how many people in here are emotionally constipated? I used to be. Now I'm just can't wait to let shit go. I'm like, I want diarrhea of the emotions. Right? I'm like, just get it all out. I don't care. I'm just over it. So with that said, it's really important that in order to love yourself, you have to forgive and you have to let go. That doesn't mean that you're ignorant or that you're passive and like if someone hurts you, right, that you just let them free and you just ignore the situation. No, you don't mean to ignore shit. You definitely bring it up. You definitely heal. You definitely speak about the things that hurt you. You definitely confront the people that did something to you. And you definitely stand up for yourself because love is not soft. It's also a mom who feels that their cub or their child is in danger. They will murder you, my dude. That is love. They will protect that life because they love it so much. And you'll see strengths come out of people whenever they have to protect their kids. Dopamine is what it's called. It actually cuts off your fear mechanism and it receives a lot of energy to the muscles, which makes you stronger. It's like a superhuman drug, which we create in our brain and mind, right? Come on now. So from there, I want to bring this all the way back into why I wanted to say all these things. I'm saying this to humanity, but in this specific space, I'm saying it to my brothers. I'm saying it to the men out there. And in this particular case, men of color who I know understand my story and I know understand my walk. I love you, my brother. I love you because I love myself. And I've been through the process of what it takes to love myself. And I want you all to know that you can make it through the process to love yourself. You just got to make a choice. You got to make a choice. And it has to be a firm decision. Firm decision. You got to choose to love yourself. And day by day, it's not going to be easy. I promise you. Day by day, you have a little bit more love for yourself. Maybe some days you argue with yourself because you're disappointed in your actions or something, right? You still love yourself. It's all that matters. And I wanted all of you to know that I love you. You are loved. You are appreciated. You matter. I see you. You are worthy. You are everything. We need you. You are a pillar. You are a strength. You are a king. You are a God. You are magnificent. You are powerful. You are gentle. You are vulnerable. You are emotion. You are wonderful. Once again, you matter. I love you. And with that said, like Cynthia say, I say. So with that, I'm feeling all good inside. I'm feeling all soft and precious. But I just wanted to leave on that note because I want us all to know, and especially with the Mastermind Connect, this brotherhood, it was like almost like a capstone to my launch pad. And let me just break that story down before we end really quick. I had a lot of issues with men. I didn't trust not one man, and I'm still working on that. But what happened is that I have 3 brothers who I am not close with. I do not really have a good relationship with them. And it's not to say that our relationship is tarnished or bad or we curse and fight and like hit each other. No, it's just not there. And it breaks my heart because they're my little brothers and I have so much to offer them. But I get it, they're on their mission. They got their own thing to do. And in the relationship with my brothers, I started to realize that's what I'm missing. Because I had so much issues with my dad and myself and the way I perceived men. Once all that was taken away, I started to look at what was in front of me. Wish I had a better relationship with my dad. So I reached out. I actually made that happen. I actually, no, that's not true. The universe did, because the moment that I chose to forgive, He actually responded the first time ever, the day that I actually hit him up. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. How's that happen? And so from there, I wanted to develop a better relationship with my brothers. So I reached out, I did, I tried. And yeah, we still cool. Don't get me wrong. I love my little dudes. They're awesome. But I realized that the thing that I was missing was that close connection of just being able to just call on someone, talk to somebody, support a brother, be a shoulder, just ask what's up, possibly go on a play date and let our kids hang around while we just talk about actual stuff like life and what we've been going through and, ways that we can parent better. And so this group allowed me to let that guard down. And just as the universe is, once I made a firm decision and once I decided that I want brothers and I want to invite brotherhood, I actually started to do events where I wanted to get men together and make brotherhood happen. And just so happens the Mastermind Connect was right at my doorstep because I knew all these dudes. I'm like, how do I not know about this group that y'all been in for the past like year and a half? Like, what? I see y'all all the time. It's like, what? But the universe blinded me to it because I was not ready. I would have rejected it. I would have sabotaged it. So by accepting my truth and the things that were happening with me, it offered me the space to meet these men and to be in this space and be in this group. And even to be able to accept myself fully. These men accept me fully. If they'll put me on a pedestal, if they're like, I have a lot of big supporters, but my Mastermind Connect's one of my biggest supporters. And that shit, every time I'm just like, damn, I'm like crying on the inside. Even now, I'm feeling all super extra right now. But seriously, and I love all the members. Everyone has value. Everyone has taught me something. I've laughed and joked. I've disagreed with a lot of them too. And you know what? We still hug at the end of the day. Because that's my brother and I respect his opinion. And I get his place. And I understand his notions. So we, as brothers, especially as Black men in this community, we've been taught to hate each other. We got to change the way we talk towards one another. We got to change the way we even interact and show up with one another. We got to show up with care and empathy and vulnerability and courage. And maybe your brother ain't there yet. And maybe you notice that he ain't really ready to talk about stuff or he ain't really ready to, listen to what you got to say. But every now and then, maybe send him a text of something that you heard, like, yo, look at this, listen to this dude. He was taking some knowledge, or, yo, I just ran across this article, or, yo, I just watched this TED talk or this YouTube, or I was on JD and Courtney's show the other day and they was busting some divine masculine and divine feminine, right? So just be present. I know you got somebody that you got in your pocket right now that you can say, yo, after you get off this right now, you just hang up or you put this off and you just be like, what's up? How you doing, brother? It's good. With that said, our time is now come to an end. I'm going to stop running like Mario through this beast. And I just wanted to just give a shout out once again to the brotherhood, all of the men, all of the members who are present, all of our supporters, whether you are male or female, thank you. All of the organizations that run with us. We're just a really precious and special group, and I'm just grateful to be a part and to once again give back to that. I love you, my brother, because they've shown me that I can be loved, and I am loved, right? And so with that said, always a big shout out to Manny in the background, doing the ones and twos, but on the keyboard. He's killing it. He's always a big supporter once again. The Mastermind Connect, all of the members out there, we're doing so many things. I appreciate all your efforts. I appreciate all of you being out there doing the work, no matter what that looks like. I appreciate the whole collective and the social concept, right? On social media at Mastermind Connect, as you see right here. And also, if you are interested in learning more about us, you can either check the Facebook page to see what we do. You can check the IG to see what we do. But in order to inquire about how to be a part of the membership, go to mastermindconnect.com. You will be able to see how to put your application in. Understand it is vetted, and most importantly, we're here to just support. And the reason that we need to be vetted is because it's a precious group. And we really want everyone to come to find their best selves. Once again, mastermindconnect.com, holy men. Can't wait to the next one. Love you much. Hope all of you are having a good day. For all my sisters out there, I love you, my sister. I got a shirt to say that. You go check it out. My brother, I love you, my brother. Be well, be good, be in faith. Peace out.